Welcome back to AM San Francisco. We're talking with Dr. Lillian Glass about speech and voice and how important it is to our image. And I know that you have consulted with a lot of stars in the Hollywood area, and one of them, of course, was Dustin Hoffman for his role in Tootsie.
This was about 1980, in July of 1980, so it really went back quite a ways. And he's consulted with a number of professionals to learn that role. And being such an incredible actor as he is,
perfectionist,
he really went to the limit. And so I'm not the only person that was involved with him in it, but I did give him that information on sex differences.
Yes, if you haven't seen the movie and haven't heard any of the advertising or anything, of course, Dustin Hoffman is a male actor who decides to dress up as a female and try to make it in the movies or in soap operas or something to that effect. And of course, you had to teach him how to speak like a woman, right? Why don't we take a look at a little clip so that you get a feel for what his role was?
Oh, wait a second. Let me explain.
No, please don't say anything.
But there's a reason.
I understand the reason.
No, that reason's not the reason. See, I'm not the person you think I am. Wait a minute now.
Nobody is.
Easy.
Dorothy, it's me.
No, it's me.
No, it's me.
No, it's me.
No, it's me. I'm just not well-adjusted enough. I mean, I'm sure I've got the same impulses. I mean, obviously I did have the same...
Don't jump to conclusions about that impulse. That impulse is a good impulse, Julie. If you could just see me out of these clothes, I...
No.
Yes, I'm sure. Okay. Now, obviously, in trying to, but perhaps not so obviously to most of us, in trying to coach Dustin Hoffman in sounding like a woman, there was more to it than just voice.
Oh, yeah, and as I said, I did work with him in 1980, and he has worked with a number of people. I believe Polly Holiday was one of them that taught him this, but the Southern accent for it. But one of the things that we did work on is the differences between men and women. That's my focus, primarily, sex differences in communication, and how men and women speak a different language. One of the things you notice in the movie, you can even see Dustin's oral movements. He moved his face more, and there was a lot of gesturing that was more inward as opposed to outward. Men tend to gesture outward more, women tend to gesture inward. Women also use their faces to a greater extent than men do. They use more facial musculature. If you even watch Kramer versus Kramer,
oh my goodness.
boy, we certainly...
Okay. A little light just popped, that's all.
That's okay.
See, you're so popular, you just set up fireworks, right?
That's great. But at any rate, when we communicate, it's really important to realize that there are differences between men and women and how they do get along, because if we learn the language that each other has, we can better communicate.
One of the things that you are very much into is the way men say things, for instance, and we're probably much more aware of this today in a women's liberated age, that men tend to speak in commands and say, get me a beer, rather than, would you please get me a beer?
Absolutely. Men tend to use command terms.
Yes.
That's a very good point. Also, men tend to use less adjectives than women do. Now, I'm wondering if we can get the camera on this couple right here.
Yes.
Can we do that?
This couple right
this
here?
lovely couple here.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I just want you to see exactly what this man is doing and what this woman is doing. She's exhibiting typical, I wonder if we can get just a complete, little lower,
So
if we can get, so we can get her
little
hands.
body language.
Little
Don't
body,
move,
yeah, don't move. You're
there.
perfect. Okay, let's just pan out.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, now we can see his legs are far apart, his feet are apart. His hands are clasped.
Authoritative looking.
Right. And look at her, she's taking up less space than he is. And men tend to take up more room, so they gesture differently, they look at each other differently, and they communicate differently. And there is a difference. And when we learn these differences, we can learn to get along with the sexes a lot better.
Do you know each other?
Yes, my mother.
Oh, your mother. Okay. How do you communicate with your mother?
As a man, I just talk to him when I have problems and stuff, and you know, just talk about things.
And how about you communicating with him?
You communicate well. Okay. All right. But it's interesting to see how the difference in body language. But what we can do is we can learn from each other, and that's one of the things that Tootsie taught us. That there's a man in every woman and a woman in every man, and we really need to have that balance.
Right. To improve that communication.
Absolutely.
Now, what about accents? How do accents affect your image?
Well,
I know
it actually depends. If you were Indian, you would talk like this, and it's not bad. Or if you're from the South, mouth, you know, you might want to talk like this.
All right,
And
all right,
get that together.
Do you also,
Or-
is it easy to learn how to do an
It's
accent?
not that difficult, and I work in my practice in Beverly Hills. I work with a lot of performers, teaching them accents and dialects, teaching people how to get rid of them and how to gain them.
Okay, well, when we come back, I think we're going to try a little experiment
Okay.
and have a couple of volunteers learn how to do an accent. We'll learn a little bit more about how you can change your voice next.
Homer Formby makes your furniture like new, January 18th.
Welcome back to AM San Francisco. We're talking to speech therapist Dr. Lillian Glass about voice and speaking and everything. We're going to kind of try to learn an accent. We have a volunteer
Okay.
here. Would you stand up for me?
All
What's your
right.
name?
Kathy Usey.
And Kathy, we're going to teach you an accent. Do you have any at all?
I don't think I do. I may.
Speak a little bit more. Does she have an accent?
Okay, why don't you tell us what you do and where you're from?
I live in Sunnyvale here in California. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I work for GTE Products in Mountain View. I'm a printer.
Okay. All right, so we don't have an accent
All right. What are we
per
going to
se. Okay, let's try to do the Cuban accent like this. Okay,
A-
we're
a-
going to talk
a-
like this.
a Cuban?
A Cuban accent. It's a little different from many of the other Latin accent because it's more nasal. And I will teach you the principles, okay? First of all, when we deal with the Cuban accent, there's different, we deal with the whole body, so there's rapid body movement, okay? So it's more like this, and then you're going to get real faster, okay?
Okay.
That's the first thing. Then the next thing we're going to do is the pitch of your voice is going to be a little tighter. So it's going to be more like this, a little higher than usual, okay? The next thing, you're going to move your mouth really rapidly. You're going to be a little nasal, okay? Because it's more of a nasal sounding speech. And you're going to drop off the S's, and you're going to basically sound nasal. And you're going to substitute the B's for the V's. You got all that?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll try.
In teaching accents, that's what we do. We break down the entire body part. Okay?
We gotta hear you some more.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, now I want you to talk like this. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Okay, not bad. Not
Not
bad at all. Okay. How are you today?
How are you today?
Today.
Today.
Not bad. Very good. Okay. Let's count to 10. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
8,
8,
9,
9,
10.
10.
Very good. Muy bien.
That was fun. Great. Okay. That was just kind of fun. But most of us, frankly, are not in situations where we really have to know how to do accents other than for fun. But we do want to improve our image.
Absolutely.
And how do you go about changing a voice that you think is too high or is too
Or too
breathy or is too nasally or whatever? Are there exercises? we
Sure.
can do?
One of the ways, as we talked before, is to say mm-hmm like you really agree, and to have the sound come from your abdominal area.
How do you have it come from
How do
your
you do
abdominal
that?
area?
Okay, first of all, I'd like everybody to put one hand on their upper chest and one hand on their tummy area, okay? And I'd like you to all, and let's see if we can get a close-up of somebody doing that. Okay, you've got a nice little flat tummy. Why don't we get you? Okay?
Good. Okay, we got it. Good.
All right, so now I want you to just kind of sniff in like, okay? Try to go, push your tummy out more. Yeah, just go like this. That's it, okay? So the bottom hand is moving and the upper hand is stationary. The hand with the ring on it should be stationary and the other hand should move. Dogs, cats, babies, that little puppy that we saw earlier, he breathes from his abdominal area, okay? Most babies, if any of you have babies at home, their little tummies are breathing in and out. That's how we're supposed to breathe. Something happens to us. They say shoulders back, chest out, breathe, but we're not supposed to breathe
What
like
is the
that.
point of this?
The point of this is to know that's where the tone focus should be.